to order at 7:15. We had executive session and at 6:15 and an executive session under litigation matters. We were discussing a zoning appeal, zoning enforcement and a zoning enforcement action, and one status of accommodation case. And under personnel matters, an employee compensation issue. Mr. Neese, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Altieri?
Here.
Ms. Roberts Lightcap?
Here.
Mr. San Francesco?
Here.
Mr. Russo?
Here.
Ms. Chanlis? Your solicitor, engineer, and manager are here.
We heard today that Andy Reschek, our codes enforcement officer, his father just passed away recently. So for a moment of silence, I'd like you to keep his and his family in your thoughts. And we'll stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Motion made by Supervisor Russo, seconded by Supervisor San Francesco. Okay, all those in favor? Sorry.
Aye.
Aye. That's unanimous. Public comment for agenda items only. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to make a public comment on agenda items? Let the record show that no one has a comment on the agenda items. Can I get a motion to consider approving the minutes from the January 6th, 2025 reorg meeting?
So moved.
Motion passed by Supervisor Russo, seconded by Supervisor Chanlis. All those in favor? Oh, board discussion, sorry. Is there any board discussion? All those in favor? Aye. And we're going to make a change to the agenda. Section 14, public comment. We are going to deal with 14.1 conditional use hearing, 14 Phillips Lane. This hearing will be continued to February 24th, 2025. So anyone here who is here for this hearing, please note the change of the date. Mr. Sikora, is there anything further?
Fine, that we had opened the record. Yeah, you got that on the record, right, Tom? And the new date is noted, and we will close the record and see. And it looks like this time will be, the new listing looks like will be the real time that will actually proceed.
Okay.
There was some zoning appeal overlaying with the conditional use application. And so they're trying to resolve multiple issues at once, and I did not want them to present to you a plan that was not ultimately going to be the plan presented. So I tried to wrap it up so that you get the actual plan,
Okay,
not have to revisit it.
makes sense.
I think
Thank
we're
you.
there.
Appreciate that. Do I have a motion for that or anything?
No,
Close,
just
just
close the record, and Tom, thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
We won't tell your wife that you left early.
She wouldn't be happy. Watching.
Yeah.
Thank
Section 8, appointments to boards and commissions. 8.1, can I get a motion to what is it for the finance committee? I'm sorry.
It would be an appointment.
An appointment for the finance committee? Do we need a person? Yes. Can I get a motion to
It's Rich Johnson, I believe.
Rich Johnson? Okay. It's a 5-year term expiring 12/31/2029 for Rich Johnson.
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Supervisor Chanlis, seconded by Supervisor San Francesco. Any board discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
It was unanimous. Here.
I do want to note, that he did interview, I think, with Supervisor Chanlis. So I just want to make sure that that was on the record too.
Motion carries unanimously. 8.2, Library Board. I'd like to make a motion to, appoint to the one-year term expiring 12/31/2025, Paul Seligson. Can I do these all at one time since they're all the same board, or do I have to do them individually?
You can do them all and put them out, and as long as you all agree to it, you can do them unanimously.
Just
Yep.
for the record, Supervisor San Francesco and I interviewed all of these nominees, or appointees, I guess is the word, for a 2-year term expiring 12/31/2026, Trish Brandon. For 1 3-year term expiring 12/31/2027, Terry McCarthy. And for number 4, for 1 3-year term expiring 12/31/2027, Pam Purser. Can I get a second?
Second.
Motion was made by the Vice Chair, seconded by Supervisor Russo. Any board discussion? All those in favor, signify by
Aye.
saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously. Section 9, 9.1, report from the Police Department. Chief Lunn, do you have anything to add?
Nothing to add.
Thank you, Chief. 9.2, report from the Fire Department. Chief Chris Young, anything? Thank you. 9.3, Public Works Department. George Sharretts. I would just like to add that we have the best Public Works Department when it comes to snow removal, because I've driven through Haverford, I've driven through Radnor, and everybody all over, and our streets, our residential streets were the clearest and the safest streets that I've traveled, because I travel through the county. So thank you, George, and thank the team for us. We appreciate it. Report from Codes Director Andy Redcheck. Of course, he's not here, and we're sorry for his loss. Report from Engineering, Eric Johnson. Anything to add?
I'll just give you a quick, the stormwater projects that you go to war in December for Water's Edge and Upper St. Albans. Contracts have been executed, and we're in various stages of pre-construction and coordinating with the contractor and property owners to advance the 2 projects. Paper Mill House, we have an agenda item for that one a little bit later. And the municipal roof complex the metal roof is, as you've seen here, and being installed back on the roofs now.
Great. We'd like to hear about the stormwater management things starting. Those
Yep.
projects, we're excited for that. It doesn't sound very sexy or anything, but it's important.
No, it's not, and you spend a lot of money and it goes in the ground and it helps, but it's not as flashy.
Right, right. 9.6, Mr. Neese, do you have anything to add to your report?
I have nothing to add.
Oh my gosh, hear that, Leonard? Look at how good I am.
She scared it out of me, Leonard.
Yeah, I got to learn that technique.
Sorry, that wasn't very professional. I apologize. I couldn't resist. Section 10, 10.1, consider approving the $524 escrow release payment to Jonathan White at 505 Park Hill Lane for completed grading project. Motion, what is it? Motion made, thank you, by Supervisor Chanlis, seconded by Supervisor San Francesco. Is there any board discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously. 10.2, consider approving the following payments for the Delaware Environmental Construction Services LLC associated with 1860 Bartram Covered Bridge Masonry Repair Project as approved by Keith Marshall, project engineer. Certificate for payment number 1 totaling $34,200. Certificate for payment number 2 totaling $21,285. Certificate for payment number 3 totaling $25,425. These payments would leave a remaining project balance of $62,090. Motion made by Supervisor Chanlis, seconded by Supervisor San Francesco. Any board discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous, passed unanimously. 10.2, consider approving the certificate for payment request number 2 totaling $257,224.49 for Garland slash DBS Inc. associated with the municipal complex roof project as approved by the township engineer, leaving a retainage balance of $465,119.44. Motion made by Supervisor Chandler, seconded by Super San Francesco. All those in favor, is there any board discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously. 10.5, consider approving the payment to Custom Fire Apparatus, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $1,240,000 for the purchase of a new custom fire truck for the Township Volunteer Fire Company. Motion made by Supervisor San Francesco, seconded by Supervisor Chandless. Any board discussion?
I would just make note for you that the check has not been actually cut yet. It will be cut this week and then signed by a board member and myself, most likely. So
Okay.
they just wanted everybody aware it wasn't in this check run, but it will be taken care of.
And Steve,
this
just
is
so
the-
we're, sorry,
Go ahead, Leonard, I'm sorry.
Steve, just because none of us on this board are firefighters or involved in the fire company, can you shed light a little bit on the committee that the fire company put together and that they, themselves put together a group to study this, and this is the one that they selected?
Yes, I can do that. So my understanding is the firefighters, our volunteers put together a committee. I don't remember exactly how many. I think it was 4 or 5, 6. 6 people that were on it. One of those was our Harry
did.
Robinson. I believe he's their chief engineer. And so he and I have been working together over the last several months as his committee, as the fire committee has put things together. They've reviewed 3 different companies' apparatuses. We went back and forth actually over 2. They had one that they kind of liked, and then this was their second choice, but there was some concerns in the contract of the Pierce truck because there was this kind of open-ended piece that the price could keep escalating. And so we brought Rich in, had Rich do a review of the 2 contracts. We felt that the equipment from Custom Fire was the one that gave us the best contract and had the lowest risk. There's always going to be something that comes up as the build gets going, but this was the one with the most control. And this one had a 2-year window. The Pierce truck had a 4-year window for actually building. And the fire company, after we had conversations, I believe they all agreed that this was the truck that they wanted. And so that's how we got to this place. If we make this payment now, we're going to use our cash to make this payment now. And we're doing that because I think we get a 4% discount by paying up front and doing that. And then over the next 2 months, we're going to do a borrowing from Del Val Financing to reimburse ourselves for this. And you'll be taking further actions as we do that. But this is to get the truck purchased. And even though we purchased it today, we won't see it probably for 2 years. And so that's the challenge with these trucks. And that's why we want to get this process moving along, lock it in, and make sure that we're covered going forward.
And from a financial perspective, the rationale behind purchasing this now is the fact that, costs are just going to continue to go up. And so,
Yes.
as you said, we're going to save around 4% by doing this cash and then going through the financing. So that's great. I wanted to make sure that point was highlighted. And then the other point I wanted to make sure was highlighted is the fact that this is being selected by our fire company, and that that committee that was tasked with this job is the one that selected it. So thank you, Stephen.
Yep.
Did we vote on it? We voted. No, we didn't
No,
take a
you did
vote.
not vote.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 It passed unanimously. Supervisor Chanlis reminded me I skipped over 10.4, so we're going to go back. Thank you for that. I'd like 10.4, consider approving certificate for payment request number 1 totaling $137,358.90 for Detweiler Roofing associated with the Paper Mill House Roof Project as approved by the Township Engineer, leaving a retainage balance of $25,962.10.
Second.
Motion made by Supervisor Chanlis, seconded by Supervisor Russo. 11.1, consider approving the 2024 bills on check registry 8 dated January 27, 2025, totaling $278,275.41.
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by the chair, seconded by Supervisor Chanlis. Is there any board discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion approved unanimously. 11.2, consider approving the 2025 bills on check register 8 dated January 27, 2025. I'm sorry, register A dated January 27, 2025, totaling $718,219.14.
That'd be a
So moved.
Is that register B or A?
No, it's actually A, but the difference is that one was for checks for 2024 and one was for checks for 2025.
Which one was 2024 and
So
25?
24 was the first one that you voted on.
Oh, 24, I didn't read it. Yeah, I didn't read it
And
right.
then the
Okay.
second one is for 2025. And so because it's 2 different years, we still keep it as check register A.
Okay. Let the record show that it's consider approving the 2025 bills on check register A dated January 27, 2025, totaling $718,219.14. The previous motion that was moved by the chair and seconded by Supervisor Chanlis was for the 2024 bills on check register A dated January 27, 2025, totaling $278,275.41. Can I get a motion for 11.2?
I'll make the motion.
Motion was made by the chair, seconded by Supervisor Chanlis. Is there any board discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Let the record show it approved unanimously. 12, 12.1, consider approving escrow release number 1 for Equus Development LP for Ellis Preserve Phase 2D as in dog project in the amount of $3,162,681 as approved by the township engineer, leaving a balance of $1,524,856.23. Motion was made by Supervisor San Francesco, seconded by Supervisor Chanlis. Is there any board discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously. 13.1, section 13, new business, 13.1. Consider approving the change order request from Miller Sports Construction in the amount of $13,118 for the addition of performance and maintenance bonds, which brings the total to $668,998. $668,998. Right? Did I say it right that time?
$668,998.
Thank you. For the Gable Park turf replacement. Motion made by Supervisor Chanlis, seconded by Supervisor San Francesco. Is there any board discussion?
I just have a question. George, what is that change order for?
So the change order is for the fact that after reviewing the contract, we did not have in it a maintenance bond, and this is for the maintenance bond to be added to the contract, and a performance bond.
There's a big upfront payment, so you want to make sure you have a performance bond.
Yeah. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously. 13.2, consider approving Maley LLP as the appointed auditor to audit the 2024 financial records.
Second.
Motion made by Supervisor Chandler, seconded by Supervisor Russo. Is there any board discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously. 13.3, consider authorizing the township manager to advertise for an RFP, request for proposal, for the development of a combined strategic and comprehensive plan. Motion made by Supervisor Chandler, seconded by Supervisor San Francisco. Is there any board discussion?
I just have one question. Steve, can you explain kind of how you foresee this process going on with regards to the comp plan and the strategic plan?
Yes, so the idea is that our comp plan runs out in 2026. It will have been 10 years since we last passed our comp plan. Our strategic plan actually came to an end at the end of 2024. And going forward, really looking at it, I thought it was important that we actually combine the two documents. We would have a better document to work from, and it would give the board hopefully a clearer picture of what direction that you want to head going over the next 10 years. The strategic plan portion would focus mostly on the first 4 years, while the comp plan is a required plan by the state for your land development and how you're going to use land and those kind of things. So that's a 10-year document, but it's how you're going to protect natural resources, how you protect historic resources, what's your transportation thoughts, all of that would be there. And then the strategic plan is going to overlay how we carry out that comp plan, but also pick up how we handle administration in the township, how we focus on what Public Works does, what our police do. It'll cover everything about who we are. And so the document will become a little bit broader document than what we've had in the past, but with the strategic plan focus the first 4 years, and then we'll do an update 3 years in or 4 years in, and we'll do a 3-year plan and then another 3-year plan to finish out during the comp plan. And hopefully then we'll continue to do that. So we always have a strategic and a comp plan working together for giving direction to you as a board based on what the community and you decide, giving direction to your staff as to what our goals and direction should be. And it also gives direction to your other committees and volunteers who serve the township so that they know where we want to go in a full direction. And so that's the idea behind the combined plans.
So it's basically a roadmap.
It's basically a roadmap. What I see is over the next 3 months, we'll be making the decision of who that is, who the person or organization will be that will lead us through that process. And then hopefully in early April, you'll have a kind of a kickoff meeting with them as the board to kind of get the process started. It will heavily involve the public and an opportunity for the public to participate in the process. It will also involve a chance for our staff to participate in the process to help move us forward.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously. 13.4, consider approving the staff recommended change order request from Detweiler Roofing in the amount of $5,113.08 for the demolition/rebuild of the existing chimney at Paper Mill House as part of the roof replacement project. The chimney top was found to be severely deteriorated during the re-roofing process.
Second.
Motion was moved by Supervisor Chandler, seconded by Supervisor Russo. Is there any board discussion?
If I could, just real quick moment, we actually got 3 bids. Oh, not 3 bids, but we had 3 options here One option was to eliminate the chimney completely, take it down below the roof line. My concern and George's concern with that, and the second option was a similar kind of thing, was to put a fake chimney on top. Our concern was that eventually, if somebody didn't understand that that was either a fake chimney or understand that it wasn't there anymore, somebody might go in and try to start a fire in the fireplace, even though nobody's done so. And I know the Historic Commission's been really good about making sure that that doesn't happen.
But in 10
Literally,
years or 15
yeah,
years.
somebody may not
could,
be
yeah.
there. Literally, the difference between the fake chimney and the fix of the chimney, I think, was $600 or something like that, maybe even $450. For that little bit of money,
Yes.
it made sense to fix the chimney, and so that's why that's your staff recommendation.
Thank you for the explanation. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously. 13.5, consider authorizing the following properties to be sent to both the county and township planning commissions for Class 2 historic resources review and authorize the advertising of such. 234 Hickory Lane, 401 North Newtown Street, 405 College Avenue, 3406 Goshen Road. Second, a motion made by Supervisor Chandless, seconded by Supervisor Roberts Lightcap. And is there any board discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passed unanimously. With the public hearing we had earlier in our meeting, 15.5, resolutions of legislation and action. 15.1, consider approving resolution 2025-6, setting the tax collector's compensation. I don't think we don't have the resolution.
You
Did
don't
we
have
get
a
it?
copy?
No. Okay. How do you want to read it?
You have a copy?
Yeah, just make sure I do it right. Okay, resolution number 2025-05, compensation of the township tax collector as set by the Board of Supervisors of the Township of Newtown in the County of Delaware, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Whereas statute 72 PS 5511.35 sets forth that the tax collector in townships of the second class shall receive compensation as fixed by the respective taxing authority, that is, the Board of Supervisors of Newtown Township. Now therefore be it hereby resolved that the Board of Supervisors, at its regularly scheduled public meeting on January 27th, 2025, set the annual compensation of the township tax collector at the following rate. Effective January 1st, 2026, $18,548. Effective January 1st, 2027, $19,104. Effective January 1st, 2028, $19,677. Effective January 2nd, 2029, $20,267, to be paid in the same manner as other township employees unless otherwise authorized by the Board of Supervisors. The tax certification fee will be set at $10 per year per certification. The duplicate bills fee will be set at $5. The township will pay up to $800 per year to an assistant to help with the collection of taxes. Resolved this 27th day of January 2025 by the Board of Supervisors of the Township of Newtown, and that's my motion.
Second.
Motion made by
I think the microphone's off.
Is your
Can't
microphone-
hear what you're saying.
Did you hear the motion?
I did hear the resolution, yeah.
It was moved by Supervisor Chandless, seconded by Supervisor San Francisco. Board comment, none, and it was passed unanimously.
Thank you.
There's no, section 16, board comment, there's no board comment. Section 17, any public comment? Let the record show there's no public comment. At 7:45, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.